Hi class, welcome back to your art lesson. This week we're working on our Hopes and Dreams Museum backdrop. So far, you've planned out your design on a separate piece of paper. Then you also added on your background to your poster. Now it's time to add all of the special things that are going to make it seem like your backdrop is the place that you'll work when you grow up. We planned out our scenes on a separate piece of paper, and they might look something like these. It's now time to create all of those special details that you originally wanted to put on your poster. Your poster should look something like this right now, where it's just your background, your ground and your sky, or your floor and your wall. Over the next few days, it's going to be time to start making some pieces to go on here to look like the page that you planned out. For example, in my planning page, where I am making an outdoor scene to look like where a police officer will work in the community, I decided that I was going to make a road out of black and sky out of blue. I now need to add all the little details on my page. I had planned that I wanted to make yellow dashes for the road, a yellow sun, some white clouds, and a police car. I'm going to make all of those pieces using paper. I do not want to color on my poster. If you want to color on a separate piece of paper and then cut it out and glue it on, that's okay. But I don't want you to color directly on your poster. The reason why is that it will look a lot nicer and a lot more detailed if we use paper only. So you can color on a separate piece of paper, or you can draw a shape to look like what you're trying to create and cut it out and glue it on, but I don't want you to use crayon and marker on the poster itself, okay? So depending on what you want it to be when you grow up, our posters are all going to be different. Some of you, you're making yours look like a hospital or a doctor's office. Some of you are making it look like the mountains because you want to be a mountain ranger. Some of you might make it look like a zoo because you wanted to work with animals. Maybe it's going to be a laboratory because you're a scientist, or maybe it's going to be a street outside, or a house that's on fire because you're a firefighter, or maybe you want it to be a teacher, so you're going to make it look like a classroom. Whatever details you want to add, you have the rest of this week to do that to your poster. I want to show you a couple ways that you can do this. So on my planning page, I'm going to talk about my teacher one for a moment to give you some ideas about how to do some inside furniture. A lot of furniture is brown, so hopefully you grab some brown paper from the classroom so that you can maybe make something that looks like a desk. Maybe you want to make a whiteboard on the wall and write letters on it. So whatever you want to do, you need to build that with construction paper and then glue it on to your poster. So for example, let's pretend that I have a white piece of paper. Oops, that's not a paper, that's a circle. Let's try again. Let's pretend that I have my white piece of paper and I want to make clouds to go onto my sky. I'm going to and maybe I'll draw out a couple and see which ones I like best. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my scissors and cut out those pieces so that I'm able to then put them onto my poster. So I'm going to practice cutting those out right now. Well, let's try that again. All right, let's see if that worked. So I'm going to pretend to cut it out and put it on my poster, just like that. So I drew it on my paper, I cut it out, and I glue it on to my poster. Let's see if I can do that to my next cloud. Not sure if that'll work for me this time. Nope, that one didn't work, but you get the ideas. Draw it on your paper, cut it out, and glue it on to your poster. I don't want to draw on the poster. I want to just cut out other paper and glue it down. So add as much detail as you'd like. Make sure it looks like a scene of where you want to work when you grow up and what you want to be. Whatever you did on your planning page, figure out how to create that out of paper. Ask mom or dad or aunt, uncle, grandma, grandpa, or even a sibling for help with ideas. You have the rest of this week to do this part of your project, so take your time and don't rush through.